Good morning, everybody, and welcome to today's episode of Market Check, brought to you by BB. There is no second best live YouTube stream to talk about markets. Welcome back, guys. I hope we've had a refreshing weekend. Hopefully you got some Christmas shopping done this weekend, because it does look like we're going to have quite a bit of volatility here potentially before the holidays. Will that be up? Will that be down? We're going to talk about it on today's show. I'm Snorlax. You guys also know me as Tommy. I'm joined by Jackus and Louie. I believe we'll be joined by Max as well. But before we can start talking about the Monday sell-off that we're seeing, of course, equities are green. Of course, I have to say that every day. our beloved crypto market. Before we can start talking about that, as well as equities and everything else in between, before you guys have any questions answered, gonna ask if you can hit that like button. Slam the like button. Destroy the like button. It is the 25 days of smashing the like button. So I'm sorry, that was a bad one. Regardless, we always appreciate when you guys hit the like button. Help us keep the lights on here at BB YouTube. Too late, BB, sometimes, but always here on the days that we say that we're going to be Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. But all right, enough yap. Let's talk about the market, because we are seeing quite a bit of volatility here to start the week. Yeah, no, I deserve this, actually. I deserve that reaction. Bitcoin is selling off, right? I mean, we had an announcement that Saylor bought $1 billion worth of Bitcoin. Price didn't really move up. Is that because the market's heavy? Is that because maybe there's, some paper Bitcoin being issued? That is something that I want to talk about on today's show. We were kind of talking about it a little bit before we went live. Regardless, Bitcoin is back below 87K. It is Monday, so we don't want to overreact too much to volatility to open the week. But I do think we're beginning to see, at least for the last few weeks, right? We've seen more strength out of altcoins on a relative basis than Bitcoin, which made sense for a lot of the reasons that we stated at the time, because altcoins had flushed out so much complacent leverage on October 10th. There just weren't as many forced sellers. You'd have to have a correlation-driven sell for majors in order for altcoins to begin to slide. But now I look at a lot of these altcoin structures, specifically the altcoins that have not bounced since like October 10th at all. And those do, to me, look like they're maybe setting up for some larger breakdowns now. So is that a telltale sign for majors? Are we going to see Bitcoin dominance climb? More things that I'd like to discuss. How are the market leaders performing, right? Hyperliquid's red. Zcash is green, man. It's really funny. It's like crypto red, but equities green and Zcash green. So that part is funny to me. Again, we'll talk about that as well as some of these other altcoins on the show today. Equities, we'll see how they end up closing the day. I think at one point they were green by about 0.5%. Looks to me like they're maybe flipping red, maybe not. Is this going to be one of those things where crypto front ran the downside, called bullshit on market liquidity effectively, and then equities caught up in 1 or 2 candles? I mean, that's typically what we've seen, I feel like, over the last 12 to 18 months. So is that playing out again? We'll talk about it and much more on today's show, but I don't want to ramble on for too much longer during this intro, guys. How are we doing? What are we seeing in the markets? Do we have any thoughts on the price action that we're seeing this morning? And do we have any thoughts on how we're going to trade into the quad witching here on Friday?
Well, 5-day forecast. Do it one more time.
Hold on.
All right, enough
It's
of
so
that.
good. It's just so good. Like, the Scream Man is so generic that it's like rare,
Yeah.
I don't know how else to describe it.
Well, nothing, unexpected happening here. The market's kind of, logically selling from a logical level. The Bear's been in a control for a while ever since we lost 100K. So yeah, what else is there to add?
Comments are good this morning.
Yeah, right. Another market that's outperformed crypto in the last couple of years.
Give me harder battles.
It's not Santa Rally, it's Satana Rally.
Yeah, just seeing more of the same, right? We've been talking about this for weeks. High time frame market structure break. Jack has mentioned that loss of 100K. That was a clear telltale sign. People trying to call the bottom a little too early. Finally starting to see some catch up. Not totally yet, but we're starting to see a little bit of weakness in the equity markets as we've talked about, right? Catching up to the Bitcoin downside, right? Talked about the stats last week where 4 out of the 5 times in the last 5 years, Bitcoin had a minus 20% correction or more. The equity market lagged behind by like a month or two, and then eventually had its own 10% plus move to the downside if you're looking at something like the S&P. So more of the same, right? More of the same. High time frame downtrend, and really nothing but air until you come down to this mega demand level, right? As we like to call it. Sure, we have a little market structure here that we're at right now. We've kind of bounced off this little bit of market structure. But as we've mentioned before, with the breakdown this significant, it doesn't really make much sense to stop here, inevitably likely coming down into here. And I'd much rather be looking for some sort of bottom, whether it's a local bottom or a bounce play out of altcoins. It will come once we kind of come down into this level first, right? So the key is just remaining patient, knowing your levels, and just playing the trend to the downside, which that's high time frame trend is down right now.
Yeah, I think what everybody is kind of looking for here, or has been looking for, right, is like that. I think Jack has said it on our morning call during the Discord today, but like everybody's been looking for that, effectively the 2022 fractal to play out from here, which I think would involve probably a few more months of ranging conditions around the current prices. And I'm going to point to one chart specifically as to why like continued range here is beginning to look less and less likely to me. And that's Bitcoin dominance, because one thing I remember distinctly about that shoulder that we formed in 2022 is that the last part of that shoulder, right? The rally that we had up to 47, 48K, you had a huge move on altcoins. You almost had like this miniature alt season where a lot of Dino coins ended up running. Some of you might remember, but I think that I actually think Bitcoin dominance is going to move up from here. I think we're going to double top at some point in the next few months. And then I think Bitcoin dominance is likely it's going to be completely fried for a while. But I like the idea of Bitcoin dominance moving up here over the next few weeks. And I think given that context, that to me lends less favorably for, us to see this huge shoulder form for crypto.
What about a subtuple top on Bitcoin dominance?
Oh, man.
Anything's possible.
We had like a quintuple bottom in 2021 and 2022 on Bitcoin dominance.
Yeah.
Looking at it now.
Insane.
I'm still very much in the camp that when this is done, when we form a double bottom, lower high, who knows what it looks like structurally, but I think that's when we're going to enter into like the ETH altcoin cycle per se. And when we see like this real adoption occur, some people might be more pessimistic about it than me, but I'm gonna like train my brain as hard as possible to kind of follow that plan, even if it gets scary. I do think I think that's likely that we see Bitcoin dominance fall for a very prolonged period of time, assuming that we're getting another rejection up at some point before the Bitcoin dominance like macro high. So we'll see. Ben Cowan mode.
Yeah. I mean, it does look heavy, right? But yeah, if we're gonna have another leg down, it doesn't really make sense for Bitcoin dominance to drop from here. Although technically it does look like it wants to, right? This kind of looks like your complacency shoulder here already. But yeah, if we get another big move down, if we get some bigger move downs in altcoins, this should be drifting higher. And then, like Tommy said, maybe like that, maybe we get a fill this wick, whatever that may be. Maybe we return to the highs. But coming out of whether it's here or a little higher from here, coming out of that, I'm in the same camp, right? Where although leaning bearish here, I'm still optimistic for the altcoin market, and that's going to be the right altcoins, right? Not everything, not the garbage, but the right altcoins coming out of this plunge that I think is coming, if not right now happening. I think there still is optimism and opportunities to be had to the long side once we kind of get this over with. And just the key is just remaining patient and sitting on your hands until then.
Indeed, catch some swing. Like people can really treat this as a swing short opportunity right now, in my opinion. Like spot swing short, I call it. It's basically you just go with your spot size that you would be buying spot. You just can do it for the short, right? And that way you are not as much risk of a liquidation, but you can still catch some nice moves. So, but yeah, I was saying today that like, or at least it's me. I suppose it's me because I'm bull by heart, and I can be making money on the downside, but I'm just not enjoying times like that. Like I'm not enjoying when I see other people doing bad. I don't enjoy the vibes. It's not why I joined this space. I didn't join it to trade it like Forex. I joined it because I wanted to see BTC prosper. And so forth. So, this isn't supposed to be a trader's market. This is supposed to be a spot market, in my opinion. But yeah, it is what it is. I'm always a level respector, and so I will play that way.
Too many altcoins. And I will say this, Jack, is to your point, because we're talking about, not wanting to trade a market that's a lot like Forex. And I think that's completely justified. I do wonder if, like, I hate to say it, but a lot of the entities that have perpetuated the creation of so many of these altcoins, if they get wrecked, do we see our market kind of return back to maybe some of these older roots specifically for altcoins? Something I was kind of asking myself over the weekend. But speaking of one of the entities that drives the market, I do think this is a good chance for us to kind of pivot now to talking about it, because we were talking about it before we went live. And I think it's a really important question that we need to answer about our market. MicroStrategy. I mean, they bought $1 billion worth of Bitcoin over the weekend, and there was almost no impact on the market price. We moved up like 1,000, 1,500 points. Very, very minimal for that size of a buy during the weekend. Are we seeing paper Bitcoin being issued and like OTC to Saylor? Would you guys have any like dubious speculation as far as that goes as it relates to MicroStrategy?
Yeah, I have no idea, man. Yeah. You would think $1 billion worth of buys over a week, on a weekend at these low prices would have more impact, but it doesn't, unless there's just massive, sell walls still sitting above this little structure we have. Now we're looking at MicroStrategy chart right now, but on Bitcoin, right, that 90 to 93K area, it's been a pretty, let me pull up the Bitcoin chart. It's been pretty ironclad as far as resistance, right? Like they've tried multiple times to get us above it. And it's very clear in the price that like every time price attempts, to push back into the 90s, just gets absolutely stuffed. So it's clear that there's a giant sell wall right here, and even a bigger buy like that, not even seeing much. We came down over the weekend. Yeah, we got a little pop last night, but I don't know, man. There's something off, and I would agree, Tommy. There's something off here. Who knows? Who knows? But price is telling you that this is a big resistance, and sellers are sitting in the low 90s, wanting to unload.
One thing I'm watching for MSTR is what we saw during the 2022 bear market, which is like MSTR bottom, I think, in May or June in 2022, and far ahead of Bitcoin. I'm looking for the possibility that MSTR, not saying it's bottom just yet, but I could see it being bottom far ahead of BTC once again. Investors will be looking to front run that narrative if obviously BTC does remain to be bullish macro-wise, which obviously what I'm not saying is that I think higher for BTC straight from here. But what I'll be looking for generally for to be sort of or add another layer of confluence that the bottom could be in some time down the road is that we will see MSTR staying strong, not really going lower, while perhaps Bitcoin is, right? And then people will be like, oh, MSTR has to catch up here on BTC on the downside. And I'll view that as like, hey, BTC hit its higher time frame demand, MSTR staying strong, I am seeing the right signs.
I love the duality of the last two comments. MSTR going to 0 eventually. MSTR at 80 is a buy.
I mean, both could play out well, right?
Yeah, you can get this. So yeah, goodbye for a nice swing, but
you said goodbye. You know that meme? It's like,
yeah.
Max muted himself.
The Matrix is attacking him.
Yeah.
Fuck me. I think I
go.
All right. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Dude, I have the worst habit of like touching my mic when I'm talking. And then it mutes me. And then for some reason it connects like Bluetooth to my phone and is like trying to use my phone as a mic. Never mind. Anyways, stupid joke. It's like you said goodbye. No. I said goodbye. Like not a goodbye. Goodbye.
Classic.
Well, sorry I'm late, guys. I was just finishing up finishing up some work. Man, things who could have foreseen but to the downside this time, right? It's been a while since we've said that, but man, who could have foreseen such a dump? Wow. I'm excited, man. Give whoosh, right? Give whoosh. Did we talk about whoosh yet?
I mean, I was just mentioning how I think Bitcoin dominance is kind of making the case against a prolonged shoulder forming, because in 2022, when we had that, that's like the analog everybody is kind of comparing the current market to. The end of that shoulder in 2022, we had like a mini alt season, huge alt BTC outperformance, like some of the biggest dog shit in crypto was pumping. And if Bitcoin dominance is actually going to be moving up from here, I think that makes the case against, seeing us maybe bounce it at the lows towards like 82K into another like higher high throughout this recent uptrend, right? Into like 100K. Because if that were to happen, altcoins are going to be outperforming against Bitcoin, I'd have to imagine, on a relative basis, because they're just so beaten down. But if Bitcoin dominance is going higher, to me, that signals this is probably more likely to be a shallow shoulder.
Well, I mean, we had one of the biggest or one of the best cycle top indicators of Zcash pumping, right? Like every cycle, that was the last thing to pump, and yeah.
I was told that this time was different by many, many people. I was told that this Zcash pump was indeed different. I don't think so.
Unfortunately, it wasn't.
I mean, when they started pumping all the Dino coins, that was kind of obvious, right?
This
We were
time,
talking about
Yeah.
like it was just
I
a
was hopeful.
plethora of Dino coins.
And do you know what's the most brutal thing? Is that everyone was positioning the new coins. They just permabled this entire cycle.
Yeah.
And then everyone was like, all right, all the Dino coins are pumping. Let's position in Litecoin. And Litecoin never pumped.
All
gosh,
right,
man,
take it easy, Jackus, because that was me. All right.
throwback to
I was a
being
little. I had some hope,
myself for
but
what
yeah,
Litecoin.
short-lived.
Like the market makers always woke up and were like, how do we wreck these idiots today the most?
Like they're all positioned in new stuff. So pump dinos, make them chase the dinos, and then nuke them.
Yeah.
Run file
I was
coin
looking at some of those.
Nothing,
a day.
but take from them everything.
Make them buy Zcash above 600 and then nuke it.
Yeah.
Tease a Litecoin ETF. Get them to FOMO into it.
Because dinos were pumping. Nothing.
Yeah.
File
Zcash.
100% in a day. This time is different.
Tommy
I
did
think
long
this is
Litecoin.
America is getting physically
I-
hurt by our comments.
I did long Litecoin and I closed it within like 2 hours because I was so disgusted with myself. And then, like, within a week, Litecoin whipped minus 60%.
I just remember
that
your
a
first
10
trade
cent?
coming back from that trip. You decide that was like the first thing you did. Never a good idea. You gotta
I'm
eat
honestly
something,
still
dude.
disgusted with myself.
That's fair. I mean, you probably should be. Like that was just a bad move, man. That was like longing Litecoin first thing back from a vacation.
How dare you?
I mean, you deserve to lose money on that one. Like almost on principle, you should have gotten rugged, but you know, you managed to get out. But
My reason kicked in. I saved
you might have
myself.
been jet lagged or something. I don't know.
I was in Europe for too long, Max. That's what it was. I became partially European. Sorry, Jackus.
I do not know of Europeans that buy Litecoin. You guys run the ETF over there.
Choppy day in equities, man. Up, down, up, down.
I mean, I think crypto's getting ready to roll. I think equities always are a little bit more stubborn to really like Will's outlook pit roll, but
Yeah.
they'll go.
I was-
Like be under no illusions, they will go.
I was thinking about that this morning, Max, and I was like, equity bros are going to buy the dip all the way down, just like crypto bros did.
Oh yeah,
The
absolutely.
difference is theirs will come back, ours won't.
Yeah,
So-
that's true.
And the difference is that, you know, as Max pointed out, equities is like this global crime scene. It's like where, you know, the thing is that in crypto, there is only like the, you know, those that launch it and they don't have money on it. But with equities, politicians are involved. And they are the best traders, like Nancy Pelosi in the world,
Yep.
obviously.
Respect on her name.
So yeah, that's the guarantee over there. We need more politicians in Bitcoin, though.
Was that sarcasm?
No. No, we actually do need them.
Trump back.
I don't know if we do, man. I just Well, so here's the thing though, is like there's no inside information really on Bitcoin at this point. Like they don't have an edge in crypto. Like what are they trading off of Bitcoin's earnings? A Bitcoin Pentagon deal? Like the only inside info they could trade off of is that there's going to be a strategic Bitcoin reserve. But at this point, that's literally the only piece of information that matters. So how's Nancy
no
going to
capital
insider
gains.
trade off Bitcoin?
I once
No
again
capital gains tax
repeat,
could bottom the market.
Yeah, that's true. That too.
I once again repeat that central banks will start buying Bitcoin.
Just lower from here.
That's fine. They can start buying it, but just
No,
nuke
higher.
it down to 68 first, and then they can start buying it.
Now, listen, central banks don't work in a way where they are trying to buy the lows. They're just they're just doing a strategic allocation to assets, so they can be happy. Like, for example, with gold rally, right? Like, they've been making a strategic allocation into gold all the way up from 2,000 up to 4,300. That's what they'll do with BTC and move the price. But obviously, this is down the road, it's not from literally the current prices.
Yeah.
I think we get a dip on gold, Louis.
I agree.
I'm a buyer of that dip. Still choosing how I want to express that, but
I think at these levels, I'm more interested in silver just because of the historical silver to gold ratio still being like bottomed out. I feel like silver probably makes a major catch up to gold. Look at that chart, man. I remember we have a video on this channel. It was me and Jackus, and Jackus was talking about his like decade of commodities thesis, which everybody by now has forgotten about, and then they'll take credit for it, which is, that's expected. But
how it goes.
so they're in the process of pretending he didn't do it 2.5 years ago.
I'm crying silently, by the way.
Yeah, good. Let your tears hit your keyboard, and then it's like it's actually up. I'm pretty sure it was at like under $25 per ounce silver when we made that, somewhere down in there. But I unironically, I still think we're kind of early to the silver trade. Just looking at what gold did, and then looking at like silver divided by gold, and looking at like a high time frame chart, it looks like it has so much runway. If we are entering like a long-term commodities bull market, look at like zoom way out, Louis, like way, way out, like even monthly or something.
Do you know
Like,
who was buying spot the past 10 years?
Central banks.
JP Morgan.
So like this chart, I
Yeah.
feel like probably makes like a run, right? So I just feel like at this point, I'd rather try to chase silver on a breakout of a 40-year range if I was going to play it because of this valuation.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yes. This was a 4-year spike in the pair.
So like if this really is like year 1 or 2 of a decade of commodities, I find it hard to imagine that this pair wouldn't bounce pretty hard. So
you're saying
it's
buy a
good.
silver watch instead of a gold one?
yeah.
I think that's how I would choose to express like a long bias in precious metals. Unless you have just like a massive, massive bankroll, then obviously you probably want a pretty big allocation to gold. But I think I'd rather like hold the precious metal in my hand than like own an ETF. I don't know if you guys feel the same, but
Yeah.
Moment, by the way.
Yeah, I would say I agree with you, Tommy. I probably wouldn't buy like a watch, so I'd probably just buy like some silver like coins or something. But then the issue is like, especially right now, if you're trying to buy it, you're probably going to get a markup from spot going to like a supplier to buy like a box of silver coins. They're probably going to charge you $65 an ounce instead of 63 or whatever it's trading at today. And, then you actually have to custody it. So you're going to get better pricing. And obviously then it's liquid if you're doing it, on your brokerage account. But if everything goes to shit, which is like the true principle of like owning gold and silver, literally is like tradable like concrete currency, like real money, and everything like truly goes to shit, and you truly need to like take your silver to like go buy groceries or something and barter at the market, then
You'll probably happen.
you'll probably be happy you have some silver coins instead of having it on your brokerage, which is now inaccessible or illiquid or something like that. But I don't know. That's probably not happening. So
It's almost like
I
why
think
would
I
I
think
prepare for
that's
something like that?
I think that's the case with perhaps like gold, but I think the case with silver is slightly different. I think the narrative of the currency is long gone with silver, but I think the narrative is with it being truly a commodity, but a rare one. And that's super needed for the solars, so for the solar panels, EVs, and chips that run on AI, and the fact how scarce silver actually is and hard to dig. So I think in a modern era, silver is the current run is way different than all the prior ones in the past, and that can squeeze it really higher. But the way to go about it, and if you want to buy physical, is actually buying the collectibles, the collectible coins that are based on the Chinese years. So you like buy the coins, the coin of the horse is for 2026, and these collectibles, they go up in like based on the value of the spot price of silver, but also the collectibles, and that's actually very very versatile. Like if you are going to buy spot, I wouldn't buy necessarily the bars, but again the collectible coins, and that way you can it's sort of like buying NFT but an actual like you're not just buying an URL for a picture, but you're actually buying the physical.
My dad's got a pretty gnarly coin collection.
Mine does too.
It's like his Pokemon cards as a kid.
Boomers keep on winning while being the doomers.
It's so sad. I don't even want to talk about it, man. It's just so pathetic. Like it's just so pathetic that we're just stuck in this shit market. Like we come to crypto for opportunity and just get railed. I mean, at least my investments are with good inverse perpetual contracts, so it's good.
You will own nothing, but boomers will be happy.
Yeah. You will own nothing and hope to God that your parents leave you something when they die. That's the strategy.
What about platinum? Somebody was asking me about that on the call this morning. I don't know if you have any thoughts on that, Jackus. I really don't have any edge in that market, but the chart I thought looked very strong. It makes sense that all these precious metals are curling up if something like silver is finally beginning to outperform.
Thus, I do not have much edge on platinum. I was telling one guy in May that it broken down the downtrend and it's likely going to continue. I did not make a position myself, but it's up 70% since then, I see. But one that I'm looking for is, and I have to still do more study, but I'm looking for palladium actually for a potential play, but again, not from the current levels. Plus, as I said, I own silver, so I'm pretty alrighty.
How do you spell palladium?
With double L.
I don't even know what that. Like, I really don't even know.
We pronounce it as palladium. It's palladium. I guess
that's what I said. Palladium.
What is it used for?
I don't know what its industrial utility is, if any, but it's rare. I'm pretty sure it's like more rare than it's pretty sure it's more rare than silver, but I'm not. It's in the same kind of like class, I think, as like silver, gold, platinum. Like I couldn't tell you the specifics, but I know it's a rare one. So
This actually looks good here. If it can break.
You know what that chart looks like is Carvana.
Only here on Market Check will you hear the comparison or juxtaposition of Palladium and Carvana fractal against each other. There is no second best.
True that.
I do what I can. I think it's like CVNA. Yeah.
Oh my goodness, bro. I still cannot believe that chart ripped the way that it did. I remember we were looking at it down there at literally the bottom. Will was like, I'm buying this. And I said, Will, they're bankrupt. And he said, I'm perfect. I'm
Will's
buying
like, exactly.
Yeah, Will's like, exactly. It couldn't get any worse than this. And then he just shoved it. I don't know if he's still holding or what he did with it, but I just remember looking at it being like, fuck that chart. I'm not touching it.
He's like, they're not paying taxes. I'm buying. The company didn't pay their taxes. That's my company.
Bullish evasion.
Bullish evasion. Yeah, I see it. Could be like right here.
Comparing Palladium to Carvana.
Study this.
Go.
Study profound autism.
I didn't realize Carvana was ripping this much still.
Well, that's what's sending the IWM are all the most unprofitable businesses.
That's been the case with Nasdaq as well. Obviously, it's like one of its main drivers was obviously Max 7 stocks, but actually 40% of the gains were done by companies that have no revenue. That tells you something.
It does. If you have a profitable business, sorry, you're not getting bid.
Oh man.
I mean, I think you can kind of see it reflected on, like, for example, the divergence that we're seeing with a Robinhood versus some of these less profitable small caps. You had your cyclical winners, Robinhood, Palantir, that have been showing weakness, but obviously haven't broken down. But what's actually driving the IWM higher are all these companies that, in theory, you wouldn't want to bid. Does feel a bit like alt season in the equity market, some might say.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh, they got their alt season.
good for them.
wait. Oh man.
Are you about to pull up a meme?
Yeah.
Of course he is. He's always ready.
No,
Yeah.
this one. But it's loading.
Well, that's real though too.
Already uploaded. What's going on? All right.
I like the Rivian chart if you're looking for something to long. Other than that, it's like I wouldn't say that I love holding shares of Rivian though, given the bias that I have on the market.
I mean, you can long USDT.
I was actually thinking about that. If Rivian's pumping and having a nice little rounding bottom here, isn't Neo kind of in that same category?
I mean, there are stocks to long, obviously. There are lots of good stocks to long, in my opinion.
Maybe Neo is a nice little long here.
You can long Monero, perhaps. Pump my bags, pump my shitcoin. Buy my shitcoin. Buy my shitcoin.
I'm expecting ETH and ETH Bitcoin to come down pretty considerably, but I do think what ETH has that a lot of other coins does not, or that they do not have, is somebody that's going to be shoving billions of dollars worth of ETH realistically into like mid to late January. So I feel like any moves down on ETH are going to be bought back up probably quicker than most other assets. You just have Tom Lee bidding a lot of ETH.
Tom Lee's gonna hate seeing ETH below 2K, man. He's gonna hate that.
Do you think he will shove more, just like Sailor does?
He's in
Yes.
too deep. He has no choice.
I
Like,
think he has. Do I go on?
I was gonna say it's to that point for Tom Lee where like he has to put it all out there at this point, you know, like he can't back off. So, yeah, I think he's going to.
He's a
Buying-
community member now.
Buying BMNR at a certain point could be one of the greatest trades, though.
Well, yeah. I mean, MicroStrategy started buying Bitcoin technically in like 2020, I think, or 2021.
2020, but they literally started when the bull market started. So like they timed it so well. They could not have timed it better, honestly.
I think Tom Lee has an incentive baked into BMNR where he gets paid a ton if they acquire a certain amount of supply. And I want to say he's like 3/4 of the way there. So it's pretty likely he will make the remainder of those buys before, I think it's like the end of January.
Wait, so his incentive is not aligned with their performance. It's basically just aligned with like trying to buy as much as they can.
Yep.
That'd
Certain
be a sick job to have, man. I would just be shoving too. If I was gonna get paid out to just buy a bunch of crypto and it didn't matter if it went up or down, I would just be shoving. Why would you care?
I think
you
it's a
wake
good
up and you're like, oh, it's raining. Time to shove. Oh, it's sunny. Time to shove. Oh, I just had a shit. Time to shove. It's like
He's on the toilet shoving. That's what we do.
perfect.
Tom Lee's scrolling Twitter while he's on the toilet and then flipping back and forth between Coinbase Pro and X, and he's just shoving.
And then you go on a national TV and they're like, hey, I shoved. You need to shove as well. ETH is the
Dude.
best.
Dude, I cannot believe the size of the audience that we have right now.
What is it?
We have
afraid.
100 people watching on YouTube, bro. We haven't had like we are getting close to like despair because
Yeah, for sure.
a bad show was like 300 people live at one point. Like everybody's
Wow.
gone. People they're
X
just
is,
gone.
X is dead, bro.
Everyone's like,
quiet.
I have no interest in trading. They're like, I just only came for meme coins, and then they didn't want to learn how to trade or do anything else.
Yeah.
That's crazy, dude. People just left. It's gone.
The quietly deceased.
It's kind of nice though, in a sense. I mean, like I guess I miss
Max.
the big audience, but I'm also like, it's
Th-
quiet.
This
you
is
know?
this is the audience. That's what happened.
That's kind of real, man. But you know what? The part is that sucks for a lot of them. We've been nailing these shorts for like 2 months now, and I think a lot of them just dipped out. You know. But yeah, I recognize a lot of you guys. It's just wild. It's a ghost town out there. Like X is dead, YouTube's dead. It's weird, but it's peaceful. You know, it's peaceful.
In many ways, it is pretty peaceful. People will be back. I mean, it's like you said, like people came for meme coins. That's where most of the speculative opportunity was. And there will be speculative opportunity again at the end of the day.
They'll
Just
come
fun while
back
it lasted.
like months into an uptrend after bouncing. They'll buy a local high. They'll blame us again. Yeah, that's how it goes.
You know, my favorite is I get some comments once in a while on like a post, and they'll be like mad about like, you know, meme coin performance. And I'm like, okay, let me get this straight. I call a meme coin out, I buy it. It's like it goes incredibly well. It rips like a 500x or something like that. And then you never take profit and get mad at me for never telling you to take profit. Like I know you or something. You know, and I'm still holding. And like, then you're mad at me because you hit a huge play and then didn't take profit. And then you leave. It's just funny, man. You know, it's a weird state that this like crypto communities in. Like CT as a whole feels just like quiet and awkward, you know?
Yeah.
I genuinely like it though. Like my trading's been fantastic lately. I'm getting really deep into the perpies. The bots are cooking. Launching new products at BB. We're just printing on shorts. Don't have to deal with as many like opinions. It's great, you know. I'm really enjoying it. But I don't know. I think the biggest mistake that a lot of people are making right now, clearly based on like engagement, just numbers, is a lot of them, it was kind of their first full cycle. Maybe some of them caught a little bit of the last one, but not the full one. When you get your teeth kicked in, which everybody does in crypto, and then you run from that and you're like, I'm done, this sucks. Like, that's the worst thing you can do. Like, you have to just like dig deep and like refine your skills, learn something new, start trading more actively. Like, the worst thing you can do is just like get your teeth kicked in and quit. Everybody's gotten their teeth kicked in. Like, dude, every week I get a tooth knocked out, you know? Like, that's crypto. Like, I don't know. I just feel like a lot of people just like quit, you know. They're just like, prices are
You're
not
stuck
going
here
up. I quit.
forever.
The entrepreneur side UMax isn't loving it though. I don't, well, I mean, it's easier to build a business when it's a bull market, for sure. But I don't know. We've got pretty good treasury management here at BB, so
That's
we
real.
definitely actively trade the treasury, which has been premier the past quarter. So we figure out ways to get by when, engagement's low. But it definitely is easier during up only mode. Like, everyone just wants to be in crypto and like watch videos, like they just love it, It's a lot easier, but we picked crypto, picked it for a reason.
Bring
The
me
highs
hard.
are really high, the lows are really low, we plan for that.
Give me harder battles.
I think at this point I'm all right with easy battles. I feel like I've had a few hard ones, What I would love for an easy battle for me right now would be if Bitcoin just flash nuke to like 58K and I could full TP all my shorts and then just shove some like hype. That would be easy mode for me. I would love that.
Yeah. We didn't even get the full CME gap fill here.
No, but we got a decent enough one. I could kind of tell we were just gonna like the way we were Sunday night in the US, the way we were kind of like slow curling down right into the close. I was like, they're probably gonna squeeze this on the open, but I was like, there's no way they flip that CME gap. Like, they'll fill it or front run it. Like, that's your short if you're not short yet. I actually said that in the Discord. I was like, don't overthink it, but like if they squeeze that up, you short the CME gap fill. Like it's like a free short basically. And I did, of course. But
yeah, once I saw this wick and then they couldn't get it above there this morning, I was like,
I can't pump.
Yeah.
We're really embracing BART season.
Yeah, but this is not even BART. This is now we're finally moving. Like this is I think BART's over. I think we're leaving the range now. We're about to leave the range, personally.
Yeah.
Well, I do feel like you often see this at the beginning of like a new leg within a downtrend specifically. Like you get a last gasp liquidity grab that ends up BARTing super aggressively into like new downside momentum. I feel like that's like a pretty distinct feature that crypto's had over the years.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm somewhat optimistic for more so the second half of 2026.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I can get with
possibly
this.
not Q1, or like it depends, right? Like how
Maybe you have to
how
bid
fast-
like mid Q1.
I actually think we could have a bullish Q1, but here's the catch 22 is I think it comes from lower. Like I think ETH could go to like 2K and then we have a bullish Q1, you
Yeah.
know, and you could see like an 80% move in Q1, but it's going to be from like so much lower. So everyone's like, "Oh yeah, it's December 15th, bullish Q1." And I'm like, "But bullish from where?" Right? That's your problem.
Right.
It
Right.
depends how fast we how fast we do this, right? Like that's the real question.
It's true.
We
And
can
if it
we
needs-
can still be we can still be ranging for the next 2 months, and it will be pain, but it can happen.
Ricky Bobby mode. Let's go fast.
That's a good point, man. That's a good point.
Ricky Bobby mode or what I said?
Now the like button.
Oh,
Yeah.
I wasn't even looking at. I was looking at the charts.
Take out your frustration and on the coins on the like button instead.
Can I ask you guys a ridiculous bearish question? Just because I want to know your opinion on it. But
Always.
I figure the audience is small. We'll just, let's just talk, right? Let's just talk. How much, what is the probability that you guys place or the potential likelihood of ETH going below the 2025 low? Are we entertaining that?
I
I'm
am.
not.
I am personally.
If you want to entertain that, you might as well entertain, 400.
So here's the reason I asked that. Equities look like they're starting to kind of roll over to me. Not quite like, but getting ready. What if equities are entering like a year of downside, which I don't think a lot of people are entertaining. And I don't even really know how likely I think that is. But if equities are entering a year of downside, and this was truly the cycle top, and like this cycle's no different than others, that was the ETH cycle top right there. Wouldn't it kind of make sense that we basically just go back down to range low? Like range high is like 4,800. Range low is like 1,000 roughly. If this truly was the cycle top, wouldn't it make sense that we're just in a giant range? We swept the range high. But I think it depends on, what equities do generally.
Well, I've always thought that ETH, the second cycle of ETH here, right? Because we're looking at one cycle, 2 cycles. We've always kind of used, I think, like the 2000 to 2008 price action. You can use indices, you can use bank stocks, tech stocks, whatever you want as kind of like the analog for the path that crypto will follow, right? Where, I remember having these conversations back in like 2022, 2023 about how this would be kind of like the fake cycle for crypto before the larger adoption curve takes place. So for me, I mean, I've always kind of I've been waiting. We didn't get it back in the spring, but a lot of those charts, I mean, they traded back to 2 range lows, like you pointed out, Max. Some even made a low below the first cycle low. So while I don't think that a bear market would be anywhere near as long and brutal as what we saw in 2022, I do think price can come down pretty substantially and more than people expect. But guessing where exactly we're going to bottom, I do think is going to be very difficult, because if we do get a real slide in equities, 1010 showed us we don't really know what liquidity looks like during crisis for this market for things like Bitcoin and ETH. So I don't know. I think it has been my bias for a while that eventually we would come all the way back down to range lows. We didn't get that full rotation, in my opinion, back in the spring. Maybe we get it now. Maybe we don't get it at all. Maybe we just can kind of continue this like ranging pattern that ETH has had for a long time. But yeah, that's been my bias for a while, that range low should be on the table.
I don't think you want to see ETH sub April lows.
I think I do actually, because I would love to buy it there. I'll be honest. I
I
would.
wouldn't.
You wouldn't buy it?
No.
Yakis.
Just
You
like
would
I
buy
wouldn't
it.
buy
You
Bitcoin
would
sub.
buy it down there.
Okay, I
You
wouldn't.
would have to buy it down there.
No.
Bro, why not? Where would you buy it then?
It must hold below the June low. Sub April lows, it's bye bye. 400. See ya.
Here's
Yeah, I
how,
would agree.
Louis, could you do me a favor here?
What's up?
Can you pull up a fresh ETH chart with no drawings on it?
Of course.
Thank you, sir.
With the Bitfinex.
Oh, got drawings there too.
Okay, can you draw a line from last cycle all-time high, a horizontal ray? Right there. Right there. Okay. Now draw it at the bear market low. The actual low, like the wick. Horizontal. Okay. We swept, if this is a giant range, and we swept the range high, someone tell me why range low is off the table if equities are going to enter a prolonged window of weakness here. And tell me why that would be a bad scoop at $800. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm just saying hypothetically.
I think structurally, when I look at Bitcoin and ETH bleeding the way that they have, and now forming this shallow shoulder while equities made higher highs, it's impossible for me not to make comparisons to what happened in 2020. Because Bitcoin and ETH in 2020 bled out, formed very relatively small complacency shoulders. And then when equities finally whooshed, crypto capitulated, and they capitulated together. And, we'd probably get some form of printing cycle if that were to occur again. But I do think just purely from a structural standpoint, they look very similar.
I don't think it's completely off the table. Now, keep in mind, I am very short. Everyone talks their book subconsciously, whether they're trying to or not. Like if you're in a great long, you're like really bullish without even sometimes trying to be like over the top. Sometimes keep that in mind too, like positional disclosure. I've got some ETH shorts, Bitcoin shorts from higher up, right? But I'm just looking at this and I'm saying, I don't think you can rule that out, by the way. Like, I won't probably be here holding shorts at that level. Like, I will have closed way too early. I'm just saying, I don't think you can rule it out entirely. Like, if we go back and if we want to draw more comparisons between, Ethereum and like early blue chip, tech companies, how they traded, it's like go back and look at Apple, in the late 90s, 2000s. Look at Amazon, right? Jackus has shown us that. Those companies, they had some ridiculous wipeouts early on in their adoption curve, right? Like why is ETH any different, right?
I think the variable that's going to determine how deep crypto goes is what happens with equities. Are we talking about a relatively small pullback? Are we talking about a volatility event? Are we talking about a prolonged move down? What does that look like?
Are we talking about Megaquake?
I obviously dubiously speculate.
Japan is going to liquidate itself on December 17th. So
You know what else is interesting? I was listening to Bloomberg last night. They're starting to talk about real estate conglomerates in China defaulting on bonds, right? Like, do you guys remember when that happened last time? That was like Evergrande near the top of 2021. So like you got Japan gonna liquidate itself. You got
It's been a while since I've heard anybody talk about that, Lou. Yeah, I'll be honest.
yeah, giant real estate conglomerates through a Thursday, which is also the 18th, which is also the day of CPI. That like there's a meeting, and if they don't get an extension, they're pretty much going to default on billions of dollars worth of bonds.
I
got,
don't
like,
think
3 or 4 different wars that could possibly spark at any moment, right? And I'm not the Black Swan war guy, but it's just I'm just seeing it everywhere. No one's talking about it. Like,
I'm not the Black Swan war guy.
yeah, but it's just like the downside risk is just so much higher right now than the upside risk.
I mean, bro, look at Solana on like the daily time frame. Oh my goodness. It just they need to save it here. Like everything.
Soul actually looks so disgusting.
Like
Yes,
go
this is so ugly.
to the I mean, bro, do you realize what happens if that level is lost? Like really lost. I mean, Jack, I saw somewhere, I think maybe in the Discord, you had a fractal for this.
yeah.
Oh,
Like,
really?
I don't think people realize like what will really happen. Like, what
That-
will happen if this level gets lost? You know?
Wow,
Wait, yes,
back to a
that's-
dollar.
I know what he's talking about.
Well, it's not this level for me. It's the April low. But if April low is lost, then you're going back down to the base.
Yeah, you're coming back down here.
You know, and to be fair, you're at support right now. It's just like, look at this chart. Like, what could it look any worse than this? You know, and maybe they save it, but whoosh.
Soul is signal. Always is.
And look at XRP. Or have we looked at XRP yet? I mean, you want to talk about cliff dwelling? I mean, look at this thing. Like, this thing could make a full retrace. Truly.
In my opinion, all of these charts will depend on whether BTC is going to 70K or 7K.
Hey, yo.
Yeah.
Bro said what?
Did you
I
say
think-
7?
Maybe.
Chef.
Devious. Very
Chef,
devious.
I like your food, but I need you to
Well,
explain this dish to me. I mean, I'm happy to eat your food. You put an exotic food in front of me, I don't recognize it. What can you explain what dish you're serving me right now? 7K?
Well, I think there will be many stops. I think, again, if 55K is lost, then you're going to 20. So, and if you do that, you're going much lower at that point too. So, I don't really care about the numbers after that. Like BTC needs to hold 70 or like that region. If it doesn't, like, again, if you're looking to buy 40 or 50, 45. You'll love it at 20. You'll love it at 14.
Oh man.
I wouldn't say I'm that bearish, but
Jack is more bearish than Tommy. This is something I didn't think I'd ever see.
No, listen. I'm not that bearish. I'm not saying we are going to those levels. I'm saying if, then that's a big difference.
it is path dependent, right? Obviously, as a fractal chud, I recognize that. Even my like worst case scenario, man, like I can't see price going down to 7K unless you have just like this disgustingly long bear market. Like it would have that wouldn't happen at one time. It would have to be because of time. And I think you'd have in that case like this prolonged bear market in equities too, right? Like I'm assuming that has to play a role in
Yeah.
how you're viewing that.
Yeah, I don't think. Listen, I don't think we get. I don't think we get a prolonged bear market in equities, or at least I don't see it right now. But so yeah, I rather think we will get a correction in equities. I think we will get a correction in Bitcoin, and I think both will hold. That's my current thesis, or that's again, I'm level to level. We lost 100k. The next station for me is 70. I think that's a level to shove, and if it doesn't, then it doesn't. If it dies, he dies.
I actually think a really good like subtle signal for one, determining where the bottom is going to be, but also dispelling like a long bear market is going to be Bitcoin dominance rejecting from the current macro high, not like exploding right through it, right? Maybe you get a sweep, whatever. Anything can happen on like a lower time frame basis, but I think as long as Bitcoin dominance is not like cascading to new cyclical highs, I think it will be a short bear market.
I believe whatever doesn't kill you simply makes you stranger.
Are you a Stranger Things enjoyer, Jackass?
It was a quote from The Dark Knight from Micro Sailor, and I quoted Joker. Following up. I don't view it that bad. Again, the bearishness is going to get the biggest we've ever seen sub April lows, in my opinion, on Bitcoin. It's one thing I learned is having a plan is different from following it, because at that time the sentiment is just insane. Like, so many people were looking to buy 20k in 2022. It came and nobody wanted to buy it. Nobody. And they missed. And so right now you're like, yeah, of course, if we drop there, it's going to be simple. No, it will not. It will be scary. You'll look at the chart, it will look like it's over. Everyone on timeout will tell you like, right now it's fucking over. Your families will be calling you, hey, is it over? And you'll be shaking your head. Your hand will be shaking. Exchanges will have troubles, probably. It's going to be, it's not going to be easy.
Below the April lows, you're saying, or like lower than that?
Below the April lows. That's where I think all of this happens.
I don't know if exchanges will be insolvent under that.
No, I'm not saying they'll be insolvent. That's not what I said.
Well, Maxi might be, but
well, they might already be insolvent.
Maybe some of those were high liquid traders.
Your money? You mean our money?
our money.
What a piece of shit this market is, man. Just
Are you tired of winning, Max?
What's that, Tommy?
Are you tired of winning?
I've actually been winning quite a bit lately. I'm not quite tired yet. I feel like if I can close these shorts below the April low, then I might get tired of winning. But I still got a little bit of win left in my tank. So
yeah, I just think Bitcoin looks horrific right now.
Dude, I think ETH looks worse. I'll be honest. Like, I think ETH has so much open interest to shed from here. Like,
You didn't buy the ETH Bitcoin strength over the last few weeks?
No, I did not. I faded it very, very hard. I think I specifically in like our group chat with you guys, I was like, I'm not buying this ETH BTC strength at all. Like weekend ETH BTC strength with Bitcoin looking terrible. Fuck no. No.
Weekend strength is the best. What are you talking about? Especially Sunday.
Yeah, they gave kind of a scam yesterday up. Maybe it was just Saylor buying, but
Yeah, it wasn't much at all. I was expecting a little more.
I'm telling you, if in 2 weeks ETH would be sub 2.1k, that would be the best for the price.
Yeah.
I think the quicker they do this, the better. I
The
mean, I
quicker they
literally,
do this, the better.
I think the best thing that they can do is flash nuke ETH like literally below 2K, and that sets us up for a bullish Q1.
Yes.
Honestly.
Yes.
And a lot of people
And-
are praying we hold up here. I'm like, I think
Yeah.
honestly, the I keep saying this. I've been saying this for weeks. Like the path of least pain long term is to get this over with quickly. So quick. Which is why you need to study the left tail.
is 70K really a left tail?
Who
It
says
is.
I'm playing the 70K strike, Tommy?
Because you're playing higher than that, right? Right?
Yeah, of course. I don't know. I mean, look, it's Monday. We'll see what Tuesday brings. If they can't scam it back up on Tuesday, then
Tuesday.
this is going to be an ugly weekly close. Like today's looking not great. We'll see if they bounce it in the afternoon. If tomorrow is not a green day, this is going to be one of the nastiest weekly candles we've seen. Tomorrow is your chance.
You know, it's basically completely retraced its move from the open. The 10-year and TLT.
Okay, when was the last few times Japan hiked? Have we looked at that? Because I'm pretty sure they're about to again, right?
Every time they hiked, BTC dropped 20% or more.
And they're hiking Wednesday.
Yes.
They might not hike. I mean, they might not. It's not guaranteed. They did say they're going to be selling off some of their assets in January.
Some assets. Guess which ones?
Like ETFs, I think.
Do we have like a Fed watch tool for Japan? Is there any equivalent to that? Would it just be like Polymarket bet, like to look at the odds? Like how would we?
Let me see.
So I'd like to know what's being priced in right now.
Let me see what we have. Bank of Japan decision in December. 98% chance of a 25 basis point increase.
Okay,
We'll be raising rates.
let's do this really quickly. So I'm gonna ask ChatGPT, when was the last 5 times Japan hiked rates? And then we need to put this on the chart and look at it. Louis, would you be such a gentleman and pull up the Bitcoin chart for me? And I'll give you some dates.
You want to put it down below, or just by itself? Just by itself would be easier.
Yeah, just by itself.
Yeah.
Just by itself.
Let me just find a naked chart here. Okay.
Okay. So ChatGPT says the last 5 times they hiked was March 19th, 2024. 2024. It's to the right. March 19th. Okay. July 31st, 2024.
I don't think we got a cut or a hike in July. They nuked the market and then said, actually, we won't hike.
ChatGPT says BOJ raised rates 0.25%, but maybe it's wrong. I don't know. January 24th of this year. Okay. And the next projected BOJ hike is this week. Can you go down to the daily time frame, Louis, just for a moment? Keep those on there. Let's go to the daily so we can be more specific. Okay. Interesting.
This is right, the 29th, or was it?
It was March. The first one was March 19th. Second
Okay.
one was July 31st. That's ugly.
Nuke. This one nuked and then it bottomed the market. Really.
And then January 24th.
Start of a nuke.
Interesting. Okay, so it's not the most bullish thing in the world based on the past year and a half.
Someone's blowing up Discord right now.
But we'll see. I mean, I don't know what it was like, how priced in it was for the last few. So
A lot of them occurred near a high, which is interesting. While this one's occurring, like kind of like in a
what if
bounce.
this is a high?
Yeah, could be the local bounce high.
Can we look at ETH BTC today? Like this whole JPY study aside, can we just look at ETH BTC? Yeah. You
I see
zoom
the
in though. I mean, I think this makes a new local low, truthfully.
Yeah, it could be doing what it did back
I
here.
think you need to observe the left tail on ETH. I really do. I think it is going to be. I think Tom Lee is going to be in the hot seat for a few months here. I think he'll get away with it, but
You think he will get questioned,
I think they're going to
prosecuted,
viciously
maybe?
attack him for about 3 months. And then I think people will kind of like Sailor last cycle when he was underwater, then he becomes the hero like a year later.
A polymarket bet. Will his hair turn gray next year?
When Tom Lee's hairline is like 6 inches further back than it is now, that's the bottom.
Bro, it's going to be down a lot. Or rather, BMNR will be down a lot. But I agree with you, Max. I think he's going to get away with it. I think he will get away with it. And I think ETH Bitcoin is going to maybe not come all the way down to the macro low, but double bottom to some degree. And if it does not do that, well, you know, we're having a much different conversation in a few months.
Yep.
It will be fun, right?
That gap fill will be a scoop.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd be a buyer down here.
I got cooked trying to long this thing in like, when was
Gotta
it?
get
I think I was
around here.
trying to play it like right around there. I cut it pretty quickly, but like I was giving it a chance there. And then I just said, all right, this is not happening. We're going so much lower, and just got out. But
The thing is, I know for a fact people were chasing this pump because this bounced like 70 some odd % off the lows.
Is that 70%? That's insane.
Yeah, it's had a strong. I've been watching it because I really did want to buy here and I didn't. and I've just been sitting and watching this thing pump day after
Dude,
day.
Louis, buying
But
that
I-
at $10 is gonna be. It's like buying a
Yeah.
meme coin on the floor. It's gonna be.
Yeah.
It's gonna be just so much fun when it recovers. That gap right there, it'll
Yeah.
dude. Because here's the thing: if ETH goes, under 2K, that thing is gonna fill that gap, and then when ETH bounces, it's literally gonna move up like 10x. So
Yeah.
it's gonna be such a fun ride. I will be playing that one so hard at the right
You
time,
could just buy spot too.
or I'll buy leaps. Study the right tail. We're gonna go from playing the left tail to the right tail.
That
You're gonna
will-
see a master class on playing the tails here on BB, man. Here's the thing, man. Most people found us through meme coins. People forget what kind of animals we are in bear markets, man. Only the earliest of followers remember. Only the earliest of our followers truly remember what things were like when we started this business, man. We were just hammering the ask for months, cleaning up in the bear market. Then we transitioned to risk on. It's like, oh, all they do is talk about meme coins. You're going to learn about the left tail. Okay. We were born in the bear market. This is actually where we thrive, believe it or not.
I
You
don't
will
think
see.
you know what a bad day is. But you gonna find out.
You go find out.
You gonna fucking learn. God, I mean, just objectively, the bear memes are better. It
so
has
funny. They're so funny.
Are you laughing?
All right, we're at time. Tommy, let's wrap it up. Take us out, brother.
Are you laughing, Anon? Thanks for tuning in, guys. We hope you enjoyed the show today. Downtrending conditions, but I do think there are opportunities in the market, right? And we are doing our best to cover them on this show. If you enjoyed the content today, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. Help us keep the lights on here on YouTube BB. But of course, we do these shows throughout the week, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, whenever the New York Stock Exchange is open. Our typical start time is around 11:20 to 11:30 Eastern Standard Time. So we'll catch you guys again on Wednesday. But until then, make sure to catch Market Talk, hosted by the legendary King Wabi. That is an X Spaces through the Because Bitcoin account, as well as Wabi's account. So make sure to stay following and subscribed to both of those so you can be notified when we schedule those spaces. And of course, when we go live, we do have a more uniform start time for Market Talk now, which is about 3:30 EST. So yeah, tune in for that, guys. You can catch members from the Market Check crew on the spaces now more going forward. And yeah, finish off your day with more great market content brought to you by BB and the rest of the team. But thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll see you on Wednesday. Until then, have a great rest of your week. Do some Christmas shopping before things get too crazy. And of course, stay safe, guys.
Tired of outdated trading tools, confused charts, dozens of tabs, endless stress? You're not alone. Introducing BB Terminal, your all-in-one command center for crypto trading. Track your portfolio, monitor the markets, stay ahead, all in one place. From chaos to clarity, from struggle to success. BB Terminal.